Hello, dear students. Today we'll try to wind up our topic, and today our topic will be the next alternative center of power for economic and political that we have been discussing past 2 days. And the third topic today we are going to deal here is the ASEAN. ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. That is the full form of ASEAN. Please don't get confused with ASIAN or ASIA, because ASEAN is very totally different from it's an organization or it's an association. So please don't get confused with Asia or ASEAN. So let's see what this is. What is this, or what does it do, or why we are studying about it. Now, it was formed. The formation of this ASEAN was done on 8 August 1967 through Bangkok Declaration. 8 August 1967 through Bangkok Declaration, when ASEAN was formed. And the reason or the motive or why there was a need for creation of this association or this organization among the ASEAN nations to promote the regional security and economic development. Now please keep this in mind. They really needed this association, or they wanted to create this association in order to promote regional security and economic prosperity among the member countries of the South Asian nations. Now, historically, if you see, almost all the ASEAN nations, they were under the rule of the European powers or either Japan. So this country, they were left in a deplorable condition after the Second World War, or after departure of the foreign power from their countries. They were left with a deplorable condition of economic and security. So they came up with this idea of ASEAN in order to collaborate with one another to promote security in their own region and economic development, so that they can help each other to develop their economy and to give security to each other in times of trouble. So that was the reason or motive behind creation of ASEAN. So I think that is clear. Okay, who were the people, or who were the countries that founded this ASEAN? So ASEAN founding member countries were Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. These were the member countries: Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and the Thailand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 countries were the founding member of this ASEAN. And then it was later joined by Brunei, Vietnam, Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia. This group of countries, the other South Asian nation, they joined in a later part of the creation of this ASEAN. Initially it was only 5, and later on it was joined by another 5 again. Okay, the total strength or the present member countries of this ASEAN and the dialogue partners. Dialogue partners means whom they are having a relationship of political or economy, like having a good partnership. So they have 10 members in present time, their total strength is 10 members. All these members they have been given here in the on the above point. And then their dialogue partners are like India, China, Canada, USA, Russia, Australia, and other organizations. So that is the present strength of the ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Okay, what were the objective, or what is the objectives of this ASEAN? Now, the first objective of ASEAN is to promote economic growth, social progress, and cultural development among the member countries or in the region of these ASEAN nations. To promote economic growth, social progress, and cultural development. That is the first objective. Now, the second objective is to promote regional peace and stability among the member countries. Promoting regional peace and stability. Now, Southeast Asian nations were facing with lots of internal problems like civil wars and the coups through this army power recently that we have witnessed in Myanmar or in Burma. So those things, it keep on emerging in the Southeast Asian nations. So in order to check those antisocial elements or antisocial activities or things which disrupt the peace and stability of the member countries, they'll try to resolve that, or they will try to promote regional peace and stability. Now the third one is to promote active collaboration in economic, social, cultural, technical, scientific, and administrative field. Now these member countries, they will try to help each other in having a good collaboration in all these fields like economic, social. They will try to share their cultural, they will try to share their technical things, scientific, and even in the administrative field. Okay, the fourth is to maintain a close cooperation with international and regional organizations sharing the similar aims and purposes. Now this ASEAN, their main purpose is to bring peace and stability, to grow economic growth. So they would like to have a close relationship with international and regional organizations which are having the same same aims and purpose as like ASEAN, like the EU or something like that, any other organizations. Okay, that's the objective and the creation of the ASEAN. Now, there is a notable principle or characteristic about this ASEAN nation, or it is called the ASEAN Way, or it is also remembered, or it is also mentioned as the ASEAN Way. Please keep that in mind. The notable principle or character of ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Now here, every decision making is based on consensus, and then, unlike other organizations, in this ASEAN organization, the opinions and beliefs of member countries are not imposed on the minority members. Now, in some organizations, those member countries who are more stronger in power, more stronger in economic, their decisions are usually imposed on the weak or the minority member nations. But here, everything will be discussed together, consensus. They will have a common or group deliberation on the issue or any decisions that they are going to make, and then they will have a common agreement. Only after that, without consensus, they are not going to impose any decision making on the other member countries, even if it is a decision or idea that is being brought by a stronger or powerful among them. So that is called the ASEAN Way. Okay, there are three main pillars of ASEAN. Let's see what are the three main pillars of ASEAN. This three main pillar of ASEAN, it was established in 2003. Unlike this EU, the last topic which we have discussed, it was not politically politically interested in the things earlier in the initial period of its creation. ASEAN was not venturing out into the political arena of the member countries, but later in 2003, when ASEAN three main pillar was created, they even started focusing on the political arena of economic arena and also social arena of the member countries. Okay, what are the three main pillars? Let's see. The first one is ASEAN Security Community. Now, to provide security, they have to have the branch or commission, and then this was known as ASEAN Security Committee. The second pillar is ASEAN Economic Community. Now that is another pillar of the second pillar of the main pillar of the ASEAN. The third one is ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. So now by 2003, they have started talking about security, economy, and intersocial cultural community among them. Now, prior, like I've told you, in its initial development, it was mainly focused on the economy and culture. They didn't have much focus on the security of the member countries, or they were, politically they were not involved, or they were not so much active like this EU, unlike this EU. So, however, by 2003, they have set up this three pillar, and then they try to venture out in all the aspects of the member countries. Okay, what is this ASEAN Security Community? Now, through this ASEAN Security Community, through this branch or through this pillar, Southeast or South ASEAN, they will try to make it a zone of peace, freedom, and neutrality. They, under this ASEAN Security Community, they will try to promote these things, to be a zone peace, to promote freedom and neutrality. And then it was declared in the 1976 Kuala Lumpur Declaration. This ASEAN Security Community was to promote all these things, which was declared through the Kuala Lumpur Declaration, to be a peaceful nation, to promote freedom and neutrality. Okay, again, the other one is to respect each other, sovereignty and independence. Now, they are not going to try to involve in each other's internal matters, but they will respect the sovereignty of the nation, any smaller or bigger nation, and also their independence. And then under this ASEAN Security for Community, ASEAN Regional Forum ARF was created in the year 1994. And why it was created? It was created to promote multilateral security dialogue with other outside nations such as India, Japan, China, and other European countries. ARF, ASEAN Regional Forum, created in 1994 to promote multilateral security dialogue with other foreign countries like Japan, China, and other European countries. And also, under this ASEAN Security Community, discussed on regional security such as terrorism, military corps, and many other things are being discussed, how they can solve these things. So this is the one of the main pillar, the first pillar of the ASEAN organization. Like I've told you earlier, we are ASEAN, we are talking about ASEAN, not ASIAN. So please keep that in mind. The pronunciation may be similar, but we are talking about ASEAN as an organization, not a group of a country like Asia or something like that, a continent. So those are the few things that that are looked after through this ASEAN Security Community, or that they are trying to promote through this ASEAN Security Community. Okay, the second pillar is ASEAN Economic Community. Now clearly it's clearly there mentioned economic community. Now here definitely you will be understanding economic community. We are talking about the economic affairs of the country or the region, and it was created by the Bangkok Summit under this ASEAN community, ASEAN Economic Community. Through this Bangkok Summit in 1995, they made an effort to create ASEAN Free Trade Area, AFTA. ASEAN Free Trade Area. Like yesterday we talked about SEZ, Special Economic Zones. So something like that, ASEAN Free Trade Areas, where they will impose no trade barriers on the member countries, or every member countries can have a business setup or establishment in those areas without any tax or any other impositions from the government of that particular country. Now Malaysia can go and set up its business or her business, factories, industries, or whatever thing in Indonesia, where they have a free trade area regions. So something like that. They made a effort to make to bring out this free trade area AFTA, ASEAN Free Trade Area, through this Bangkok Summit in 1995. And then another effort was made through this ASEAN Economic Community, that is to create a common market for trade and investment. They also wanted to have a common market between the member countries, and so that it can promote trade and investment among the member countries. There can be a free flow of persons, or goods and services, like this EU. Yesterday we have discussed about that. They wanted to have a free flow of all those things, so they want to have this common market. Okay, then another effort or another view they have in this ASEAN economic community is to set up a dispute settlement mechanism so as to solve economic disputes with the member countries or among themselves, to negotiate with a USA or US power, European powers, World Trade Organization for freer world trade, to promote the world of more freer world trade. So in the world, so they want to discuss about those things or negotiate about those things with the World Trade Organization and even the big superpowers, European powers and USA herself. So those are the objectives, or those are the efforts and the objectives of this ASEAN economic community, which they are trying to set up. Okay, the next one, the third one is the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. Now, socio-cultural community is to promote cultural activities, cultural exchanges, or those things, and it's also talking about like in the field of sports and higher education. And then through this expansion of telecommunication, it has helped in regular broadcasting of the common cultural programs among the member countries. Now they try to promote each other's culture. They try to promote each other's social activities, and then they try to have a interaction with one another or help each other to promote their cultural activities. And then not forgetting about even in the field of the sports and higher education. Now they have a cross education system, like students from Malaysia will be transferred or exchanged with the student in Indonesia, and then they can have a cross education system like that. Those things are carried out so that it can enhance the learning way, or they can enhance the good relation between the member countries. So all those things are being looked after under this ASEAN Social Cultural Community. Their main aim or objective is to promote the cultural activities of the member countries, and it is being very helpful through this telecommunication. Okay, so that's all about this ASEAN. Now let's see what is its relation with other countries or outside world. Now let's see the relation between India and ASEAN. Under Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he introduced this Look East policy, which was created to promote a trade and economic relationship with the Southeast Asian nations or these countries. Now Look East policy is already changed as, or it is already known as Act East policy now. And then this is an policy, like I've told you, it is meant to boost up this extensive strategic and economic ties with the Southeast Asian countries. So these Asian nations, they are trying to build a good relationship, and even India, she's putting an effort to build up a good relationship with the Asian nations or this Asian organization, all these member countries, 10 member countries. Through all this, introducing all these policies, they are trying to build up a good relationship with one another. Okay, what is the vision of the ASEAN 2020? Now ASEAN, they have a vision. They have aimed to become a single market by 2020, to allow free flow of goods, services, and capital across the entire region. Like I've told you, they are trying to get more closer or more cooperation with each other, like this EU. They are trying to make a free flow of goods, services, and the capital across their member countries. And that is the vision they have to be completed by 2020. And ASEAN is already rapidly growing into important regional cooperation, and its main aim to be accomplished in 2020 is for a wider role of global community, even in the global community. Now they are not only talking about their focus is now not only in the region, but they're also trying to become a role model in the global community also. They are trying to expand, or they are trying to expand their influences even in the outside world, so that they can make a difference. So those were the visions that they have for their future, and then some of it have been accomplished, or it's been progressing so far. And so that is all about this ASEAN. So this China, European Union, and ASEAN are the three alternative centers of this economic and political power that is balancing the US power in the present time. They are giving or acting as another sources of economic and political power to the nations of the world. Through all these things, they are trying to through all these organizations, they are trying to boost up the economic power. They are trying to boost up the relationship among the countries, and then build up more secure and powerful nations. And China is one of the fastest growing power in the world, which is putting a balance on the US power. And then because of that only, the world is much better and peaceful place. So that's all for this chapter. I hope you have gained something from these explanations, and hope to see you in the next class.